Hello, and today I would actually love to talk about three myths that people think about freedom. Yeah. And today is actually the final day of my launch. And in the past 48 hours, I have been talking, or in fact, much longer than that, because I started driving up the awareness about this launch a week ago. And I realized how much I embody freedom, how much I really love freedom in every aspect of my life. I have never been that person who, even when I was a kid, that you can tell her what to do. I always had a mind of my own, so much so that even when I went for those management trainee interviews, and they always wanted somebody who was willing to listen, somebody who was willing to be at their beck and call. But I was never that person. I was always somebody who, yeah, I have a nice face, but I always had a loud voice, and I always had a very loud and strong voice. And this is really what I love. Like, I have the freedom in my own voice to speak for what I desire. And I have always embodied this fierceness around freedom, fierceness around fearlessness to go for what I truly want. Because I believe and I have honed my confidence, my self-worthiness to that level where I know that I deserve all this freedom that the world has. Right. And right now, I feel so privileged to be in the capacity to be living the money that people dream of with the kind of lifestyle, right? The ability to afford to travel two times in 3 months is really not something that everybody has. Because even people right now, they're always like thinking about, oh, how long do I have to wait until I have to wait for the money to come in. If I'm not waiting for the money, I'm waiting for the time. I'm waiting for myself to be more free. But I have never been that person. In fact, I always know that my desires come first. Yeah. And three myths that people always think about freedom. This is really what I would love to address, because I see so many of this coming up in the people that I speak to, that they actually put an invisible bondage and an invisible chain to themselves through their mindset and their emotions by saying that, number one, this can come later. Okay, my travel can come later. Time with my family can come later. Time for me to have personal time can come later. True, there are different and various seasons in our lives where we put aside priorities. For example, when you're being a new mom, when you have a new baby, of course, your priority at that point shifted to taking care of the newborn all the time. So, and true enough, when we are single while young and free, that is the time for us to explore, to discover. We all have various seasons in our life. But if you find yourself keep coming up with that, okay, it can be done later, it can come another time. You are putting yourself on the back burner, right? And is this worth it? Is it worth to just be seen as a money-making machine for your family, but not being able to enjoy the fruits of it? Or being seen to be the one taking care of the family, but not being able to enjoy the luxuries experience in life? Like, for me, I have always been that person, and I truly believe that life is about enjoying it to its maximum, to its riches. In Chinese we say 你要什么你得什么. Whatever that you desire, you can have it. And if you have that kind of go-getter spirit, that kind of fearlessness, that kind of fierceness, okay, nothing is able to stop you. Because when you want something deep and big enough, the world moves for you. Okay. So if you're constantly coming up with when people think about freedom, that it can come later. I will enjoy my life later. I will enjoy my life 20 years later. I will enjoy my life after my kids grow up. I go on to set up a business after my kids grow up. Then, the time you have already wasted so much time and energy. And as we get older, we get hardened into habits, and the inertia actually builds up. So if you have to, like what I always tell my clients, if you have to clean up the room and there is a mess, there's a pile of dirty clothes sitting in the corner of your room, right? Why do you want to wait until the pile gets bigger and bigger, until it gets so impossible that you absolutely have to clean up, when you can do it right now? When you can actually stop waiting and actually jump into cleaning up right now. Because the sooner you clean up, it's the sooner you get to enjoy it. Okay, it's the same thing. Like, the sooner you get to clear up your money blockages, your money mindset, the more you enjoy bigger money. So this is I mean, I always put aside like this question to my clients: why do you want to wait? Why do you want to wait? Wasting so much time, wasting so much energy, losing your relationships in the process, your connection with your wife, connection with your husband. and connection with your kids in the process. When you have to clean it up no matter what, why not do it right now? Yeah. So this is one big myth that people say, I can do it later. I can own freedom later, 10 years later, 5 years later, 1 year later, when this clears up. Because get it, when after one hurdle comes, you will be in that habit to put in another hurdle for yourself, because that is where self-sabotagement kicks in. That's so much so that even if I tell you that, hey, you got $1 million and you can take off and go and travel the world right now, you will come with the excuse that somebody needs me, so I can't do this. This is one pattern that I see very, very common, that even if the most beautiful job and the most perfect job with money, with benefits land on your shoulders right now, you will come up with excuses to say that it can be done later. So this is the first myth. Second myth, there is no need for it. What I have is good enough. I will make do. Okay. 3 killer statements that kill freedom. Number 1, I have no choice. Number 2, I will just settle. And number 3, I will make do. So when people actually say that there is no need for it, watch your tone, watch your emotions behind it. Are you just trying to self-soothe yourself or comfort yourself that you actually don't need it when you truly desire? Okay, when you put aside all that smoke screen of emotions, of acting nonchalant, but the truth is that when you see other people having the life that you want, such as I mean, no offense, but if let's say you are a corporate, you're a corporate lady and you are working, spending so much long hours, right? And you're looking at the stay-at-home mom saying that I want to have that kind of time with my kid, but money is more important and I'll make do with it. Or are you standing on the other extreme end, okay, being a stay-at-home mother with completely no income, sacrificing all of your time, when actually in the truth right now there's so many ways to earn money. Okay, when you are actually being a stay-at-home mother, telling yourself that I don't need luxury, I just need a simple life. Every day, if I just have normal plain rice, I can have one vegetable and one meat, I'm happy enough. Okay, but you look at our world. Our world today has changed from that of our parents' generation. Our parents' generation were that of survival instinct, were that of making sure that we have food on the table. But is that our generation right now? No, because our generation has so many options. Options to make money, option to travel, option to see the world, option to experience life. And if you are bypassing all of these, soothing yourself that I will just go for the cheaper option, I will just go for a cheaper alternative, I will make do, I don't need this. Is it really coming from a true satisfaction place? That is like what I shared in my IG story earlier on, is coming from that true emotional satisfaction where I really don't need luxury. If I want, I can afford it. Or is it coming from that place of self-soothing and denying and rejecting it and telling yourself that I don't need it? But if I ask you deep down, that is something that you wish to experience. You wish to experience a cruise. You wish to experience buying a $3,000 bag on your own money. You wish to experience at a finger snap, okay, able to go for omakase Japanese experience. Whatever it is. I'm not being materialistic here, although that's part of me that enjoy life, that I love to go for like fine bars and stuff, but it's not something that I feed off every day. But I do love to experience it once in a while, and I'm not shy about it. In fact, when I was when I was full-time right now as well, but when I was actually building my career for my insurance, there were so many luxurious trips and luxurious experience. We go for $150 meal, $200 meal as a bonus for top sales. We get to travel overseas. We get to go to LA. We get to go for all these beautiful trips overseas. On top of, in Singapore, having the occasional monetary rewards. That was something that was great. It was great to taste it. But do I need it every day to live? No. But it is great to have that option. So when you actually tell yourself, I don't need it, okay, get honest with yourself. Which side is it coming from? Is it coming from that true emotional satisfaction that like for me, what I've experienced is I have like, honestly, like traveling 2 times in 3 months is really, really fulfilling. Like I don't, yeah. And not to mention that when we spend on these trips, we go big. So when coming from that true satisfaction, okay, when I have like, I don't need the luxury, or of course there's a cherry on the cake. I would love to have it. And if I can have it, I can afford it. Or is it coming from that space of what I have is good enough, coming to self-soothe yourself, trying to comfort yourself? Okay, because if it is, you got to be honest with yourself, okay, that you truly desire more freedom, be it in money, be it in time, being with relationship, or even having the freedom to own your own voice, to be able to speak your own truth. That is what some of my clients come to me for. So again, which side is it coming from? And be honest with yourself. There is no shame behind it. Okay, there is no shame to saying that. Like I get that label quite a lot from like some of my friends who are really, really simple and easygoing. I get that label. Like for me, I have always telling them that I have a very strong desire, and they always know me as a person like that. Okay, I was never shy telling them I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. I was always hungry for more. Okay, but they always tell me that your desires are too big, and I have heard all these things before. Whatever that you're hearing, I know. Yeah. But but I choose to stand by it. I choose to honor myself above all else and say that if I want it, I'm gonna get it. Yeah, if I want it, I'm gonna get it. I'm not gonna come up with excuses to say another time because somebody else is more important, to put some like time. No, no, no. That's completely nonsense. Because I truly believe that when you are at your best, you live your best life, you inspire the people around you, and you move and you activate and you allow others to experience the best of you. You allow your family to experience the best of you. Isn't that a treat for them? So if you're telling that what I have is good enough, and then every day you're feeling like, you're feeling like something is missing, you're feeling like you're missing out of life, or you're trying to push the issue under the carpet, trying to bury your feelings and telling yourself that it's okay when you see people around you having the riches or the experiences that you can't have, okay, then there is no shame to saying that, hey, I want this, I want more. And how can you help me to get there? You can even say that I want more, full stop. That's it. That is an acknowledgement. But of course, those people who come to me is, hey, I want more freedom in life. I want more time in my life. I want to enjoy more in my life. How can I have it? Okay, because when that happens, that's when the changes happen, that's when the activation happens, that's when the transformation happens. But if there is never an acknowledgement, if there is also shame and guilt behind it, shame and guilt about wanting more, why do we women want to be, or why do we human beings, or even as parents, why do we want to shame ourselves to saying that we want to have more ambitions in our life, we want to have more time, we want to have more freedom? What is so shameful about that? There's no shame. Because parent or not, we are just like any other human being who have our own personal desires. And I truly believe that when you have your personal desires, you go for it, you become the light for the people around you. Okay, so the third myth, if I want to have more XXX, I have to give up on my XXX, fill in the blanks, right? So many statements we can come around. If I want to have more money, most common, if I want to have more money, I have to give up my family. If I want to have a family, I have to give up money. I have to stay at home. I have to dedicate all my time to them. I have to be, I have to stop striving in my career. If I want to have more freedom, I have to give up my job. If I want to have a job, I have to give up freedom. There is so many either or. And if you are actually watching any of my master classes, I always talk about why do we want to have it all? But yet, why do we not want to have it all? And this idea about not having it all stems off from the fact that we have to give up a part of our life to have another. And if you actually watch all my other stories that this freedom launch I've been talking about, I talk about true whole freedom. And true whole freedom in all aspects of our lives actually means that we are a person, we are never singular. Okay, just the same thing, like no humans is actually made to be to survive on their own. We humans are made to be tribal. Similarly, like every human being has different parts of them that makes them a whole being. You have family, you have relationships, you have connection, you have spirituality, you have finance, you have money, right? You also have your passion, you also have fitness, you also have health. So if you have to give up one part, like I have to give up my health for money, okay, how long do you think your body is going to run? Or if I have to give up money for freedom, how long do you think you can run this world without money? Yeah. So people think that you always have to give up one aspect for another. It's completely not true. Because when you actually have all these parts playing around and moving in a very dynamic, what I mean about what dynamic, meaning that different seasons you target different areas to improve on. Just like for me, earlier in February, I was actually going through a deep cleanse, and in August, September, was it October, I went through COVID and my son fell sick. Was I actually focusing on business then? Absolutely no. But I was putting my focus on healing my health. I'm healing my son's health as well. So during then, it was a health reset for us. So different times of our life requires us to upgrade different parts of season, require us to upgrade different parts of our life, and it is completely all right to do it. It doesn't mean that you actually, when you let go of one area, you have to let go of one area to have another. Okay, life, it doesn't work singular like that. So it's about having dynamic balance. It's about focusing on one area one time when letting the other run by itself, and focusing on another and letting the other one run by itself. There is no need for, if I want more of something, I have to give up something, because true whole freedom exists, and I am a model of that. Okay, where I get to have the freedom of my time, I get have the freedom of my career. Okay, I get to have the freedom of money, I get to have the freedom of experience. Okay, and that truly exists. Okay, so these are the 3 myths that people think about freedom. I really hope that this sinks in so deep, and if you resonate with any of these statements, I'm sure it will. Yeah, I want you to give a deep thought into whether you want to continue to let this thought run your life further, or is it time to do something about it? Okay, all right. I'm having the Freedom Live bundle today, ends today, USD 197, including a 30-minute live call with me. We actually target your issues that have been stopping you time and time again, and including the bonus training for the Have It All 100K to inspire and activate you to live your best life, and that you can have it all. All right, so it ends today. But beyond that, I'm so happy to actually share this message about freedom. It's something that I truly embody and so close to me. It's part of my body. Yeah. And I know that if it's possible for me, it can be possible for anyone out there. All right, see you.